P-A-S-C-A-L. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high, cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold up, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up. Weekdays, catch us live, somebody. Let's go.
Good evening, everybody. Happy Saturday night. S-A-T-A-T-U-R-T-A-Y. I can't even spell Saturday night. I don't know why I can't. But anyway, hopefully you guys are doing well, enjoying your day, making it wonderful, making it positive, ending your night well. Maybe you're getting a libation in. Maybe you're doing a little something else. Whatever you're doing, make sure it's just, safe in the comfort of your own home or in the comfort of somewhere safe. Okay, period, point blank. But anyway, guys, we got a short show for you guys today, for you guys tonight. Told you guys I'd be back on tonight. I know it's late, but like I said, I wanted to be on here, give you guys some more information, some more conversations about another case I have been covering on this channel quite a bit. But of course, everything had to go veer off this course for a little bit because of the Brian Kohberger stuff and all that. So definitely wanted to get back onto this story. There are some other stories that I'm going to be breaking tomorrow afternoon as well that I think a lot of people should know about that probably are not out there in the zeitgeist like I feel like they should, because there are some other evil things going on in the world right now with other people who have either lost their lives or are currently missing right now as we speak. So we will be talking about those later on tomorrow afternoon, okay? But I do have an announcement that I want to let you guys know about here in just a little bit for tomorrow morning, okay? So it's very important, but I'm going to wait until a few more people start hopping in and everything, okay? So good evening, happy Saturday to all my lovelies out there. I hope you guys are all well. Okay, it is Saturday night, at least in my neck of the woods, wherever you're watching the show, maybe early in the morning or maybe still the afternoon for y'all, wherever you're watching this. But whatever you're doing, hopefully you're in good spirits, okay? But before we get things moving, please hit that like button down below, crush it, make it scream out your name. That would really, really mean a lot, okay? And of course, do not forget to crush that subscribe button. Be great to have you a part of the Pascal Show family, okay? We got to get into this, because like I said, I won't be on for a long time, but we're here for an informative time. It is Saturday night, so I want to enjoy a little bit of my Saturday night with my loved ones and all that. So I wanted to give you guys some information revolving around Anna Walsh, this young mother of three boys, okay? Age ranges from 2 to 6. These are young boys. This young woman is missing straight out of Cohasset, Massachusetts. Her husband, Brian Walsh, is behind bars right now, unless he's bailed out. Unless he's already bailed out, I don't know. But from what we know, he is still behind bars because he has been charged with misleading the police. Now, for those of you guys who don't remember this whole case, let me give you a quick rundown of it, of course. And I wanted to make sure I had a photo because I need to pull that up, of course, because we can't forget what they look like, okay? So let me show you guys this really quick. Of course. So this is Anna and Brian Walsh, okay? Married couple. She is a real estate agent, or she's very successful in real estate. Let's just say that, okay? And his stuff is very tarnished and messed up, okay? There's a lot to say about this guy, about Brian. He is, from what it seems like, a fairly troubled individual, or at least as of late. But now we're starting to hear some more information about their relationship and what it could have been like, or what it was like beforehand. That maybe there is a history of violence, that was this language of violence that could have been implicated in their relationship earlier on and just stayed in the relationship forever, right? So we got to talk about this. We are going to talk and look into this more because this is just a devastating situation. Because again, this could very well be a situation of a woman just straight up being trapped, not being able to find a way to get out. Now, we talk about DV quite a bit on this show, on this channel. I mean, ever since we talked about Amber Heard, the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial, all the way to here, we have consistently talked about it. Shoot, even before that, Gabby Petito, Brian Laundrie, we went into great lengths of talking about how speak up. Don't be afraid to say something. If you see something, especially if you're on the outside looking in and you see something, say something. If somebody confides in you about being mistreated, let's just say, by their loved one, don't be afraid to take action and speak up, because sometimes those people don't know where to go. And of course, or what to do. And of course, I'm going to get into this more later, and wrap up the show with my own 2 cents, my own P's and Q's about this. But it does to me seem like there is a history of very, very bad things that have happened throughout this relationship that came allegedly, that came to a definitive and tragic end. I'm going to say these things again later on, okay? But this is what I'm getting now. That's the vibe I'm getting right now. We haven't even gotten into the article. But these two, Anna and Brian Walsh, were having a New Year's Eve dinner, very lavish New Year's Eve dinner. Apparently, Brian went all out, all right? Made sure that it was a very beautiful, distinguished, elegant dinner. Seemed like there was no problems whatsoever, according to friends that were a part of this party, a part of this dinner party. Seemed like everything was fine. Kids are eating good, families eating good, so on and so forth. And after everyone left, something must have went down. Because according to Brian, he said, Anna, I'm sorry if I've been saying Anna, but Anna allegedly woke up the next day saying that there was a real estate emergency, that she had to go back out to Washington, D.C., because that's where her job is. They own another apartment or a townhouse out in Washington, D.C. as well. She kisses him on the forehead first thing in the morning, jumps into an Uber or Lyft, and takes off, and she's gone. Gets on this plane and takes off. Brian, I guess, never hears anything from his wife. Doesn't hear anything at all. But waits 3 whole days. 3 whole days to finally alert the Alert 50 that she's been missing. But the only reason why there was any type of alert was because her job called first and said, "We don't know where your wife is. Have you seen her? What's up with that?" So then he finally calls 911, right? He finally files a missing persons report. But the one thing I find very strange, and I've said this on other shows before, first off, him guilty, period. Okay? Him guilty as hell. But one thing that I was wondering about is they have 3 young boys. 3. They range from 2 all the way to 6 years old. They still need their mama. I don't know any mother that goes a day without reaching out to the babysitter, the caretaker, the au pair, the husband, whatever, okay? The Mr. Mom, it doesn't matter. You're constantly calling in. You're constantly texting. You're FaceTiming. You want to see those beautiful, beautiful babies that you just brought into the world. Doesn't matter. You want to make sure that they're safe and good. Why would she not contact him as soon as she landed on DC Earth? And why didn't he not say anything about it for trio days. 3 days, guys. Three of them. Doesn't make sense to me, guys. As, of course, court of public opinion right now, it doesn't make sense to a lot of other people as well. Now, as after all this goes down, of course, I'm abbreviating, okay, because we got to get to the meat and potatoes, but he claims he went off to go to see his mother within those 3 days, okay? He runs off to go see his mother, but oh my God, stupid me. I made the wrong turn on my way to my mama's house. And he went on a random 20 to 30-minute detour, finding his way back on track to get to his mother's house, right? Then he says he went to go and get ice cream or a milkshake for one of his kids. But then later on, we see something else, right? Which we will get to in a second. But now we have all this information, right? Took him 3 days to say anything. He's on house arrest also, by the way. Let's not forget that, because he was arrested for selling fake Andy Warhol paintings. So he was already on house arrest for committing a crime. Right? So, just last week, if I'm correct, or earlier this week, I'm sorry, he finally gets arrested. And I need to see if I have that video still. Maybe I do. Maybe I don't. But I do have the photo. Let me just pull up the photo. Oops. Hold on. Let me pull up the photo. So, he gets arrested, okay, for misleading 5-0. Right, that makes sense. Sure. He doesn't call 5-0 at all to report her missing. I'm sure he was lying clearly he was not telling the truth, because what happens is they find blood and a broken knife in his basement. Right? Then on top of that, let me just blow this up so everybody sees this big old grin on his face. Completely detached, in my personal opinion. Completely detached individual. So they find red. They find a broken knife and red on that knife in the basement of his house. Now, remember when I said he went out to go get ice cream for his son? Apparently that didn't actually happen. So this dude, which I already said is one of the dumbest things a criminal could ever do, he decides to get in his car. He has a GPS tracking anklet, right? Because he's on house arrest. And there's only a certain amount of places he can go that he's like allowed to go to, like, maybe the gas station, the nearby gas station, maybe a few supermarkets that are in close proximity, stuff like that. Essential crap, right? This dude drives out of his way to a Home Depot nowhere near his crib, puts on a mask, face mask like a Rona mask, gloves, walks into the place, pays cold hard cash, but he pays $450 worth of cleaning supplies. Again, my question is, what planet are you on that would make you actually pay $450 worth of cleaning supplies and say, oh no, this isn't for a body or to get rid of evidence, right? Dumbest things you can ever do, all right? Especially, let's not forget, anklet, house arrest, GPS tracking anklet. So when you call up police and they're looking at you as a prime suspect, because everyone does that, okay? Oh, it doesn't have GPS on it. Okay. But they're able to track him and see that he's out of jurisdictions. All right? If he goes to a certain place, it alerts them, right? So, still has the anklet on. Still shows that he's going other places, though. Still shows that he's doing something not right. So they find footage. He buys $450 worth. $450 worth of cleaning supplies. Who does that? Unless you're a janitor at a custodian at a high school. Okay? Who does that? Right? So he goes and does that. He comes back with all that stuff, and let's not forget a hazmat suit within those things. So he's wearing a full-on hazmat suit like he's Dexter, all right, doing God knows what in the basement of his home, whilst his 3 bouncing baby boys are resting their weary little heads a few floors above. Some really disturbing stuff, y'all. And like I said, dumbest things that a criminal could ever do. If you don't want to get caught, don't do these things. Let's just be real. It's just dumb. Then on top of it, as they're going through his stuff, just his stuff alone, they find that he even Googled. He had searches on his computer saying how to get rid of a 115-pound woman. We've already talked about these things before. But again, in my mind, I go, how can you not say that everything shows guilt? Just on those things alone. Like, we talked about Brian Koberger, and we're talking about how, the cell phone pings and the this, that, and the thirds and the carry the ones and blah, blah, blah. Therefore, he's our guy, right? This guy has blood in the basement, a broken knife. He's got trash that they've retrieved from the place that he went on that detour on the way to grandmother's house. Okay? Over the river and then through the woods. He went to mama's house with a detour. They found that stuff, bags of evidence, let's just say that. So everything is screaming that this guy is in very, very big trouble, okay? And that he's looking at possibly some serious time. But now we're starting to learn a little bit more about how they were in the past. And this part is very sad too, because like I said, this shows absolute full-on fair warning, I guess, foreshadowing of what type of person that he eventually became. Let's take a look at this here. And it says it right here. He is going to unalive me. Got to use these code words, guys. But missing Anna Walsh called cops on her husband, saying he was going to do terrible things to her, and her friends in 2014, 1 year before they actually got married. And let me say this, before we go into any of this, this is the thing that I'm trying to tell to you, every single last one of y'all. Because fellas, ladies, I'm telling y'all, we all have our fair share on both sides where we have, let's be real, DV has no gender. This is basically what I'm trying to say. If you have somebody that's really showing who they are, believe them. That's it. If they show you who they are, believe them. Kick rocks before they sink their talons, their claws deeper into your body. If you find a way out, get out. I know some people go, "Oh yeah, let's do 3 strikes and you're out" type of situation. I've heard that story too, okay? And guess what happens? It's strike 15, and you still find yourself in the relationship, and damn, you're 2 babies in with this mother lover that you shouldn't even be with. As soon as they show you who they are, believe them. So let's get into this, guys. All right? So, missing Massachusetts mother, Anna Walsh, once called the police on her husband, saying he was threatening to unalive her. Police reports obtained by dailymail.com, the article I'm reading right here, show that Anna, a Serbian native, called the Washington, D.C. Metropolitan Police on Brian Walsh in 2014, saying, quote unquote, he made a statement on the phone that he was going to unalive her and her friends. The call came just 1 year before the couple said "I do" in Serbia, and years before she was reported missing on New Year's Day. This whole year. DC police told NBC Boston the case has since been closed. But Brian, 47, is now charged with misleading misleading a police investigation, and has since been revealed that he Googled, we already talked about this, but how to dispose of a 115-pound woman's body. Come on. If you really, you don't think he did it? Like some people out here, I know some people in some corners of the internet streets are going to sit there and go, maybe he didn't. But what makes anyone Google that? Unless they're Stephen King. Or unless they're writing the brand new, like a reboot for The Sopranos, or a remake of The Godfather. But on some real ish, come on. Who's actually Googling that on just on the daily? Just all willy nilly. So, of course, this is them. But I'm telling you right now, a person can be, because we've heard other stories about him being so charismatic and cool. And there was another article I read just yesterday about he was in this kind of like a team building workshop type of thing, and the kind of like a motivational and inspirational group building type thing. And they were literally calling him head and shoulders because of his long locks and how he was so cool and he was so, charismatic and all that. Sure, there's plenty of people that are really nice to your face, but really behind closed doors, they're just applying pressure, for lack of a better term, on their loved ones. Again, like I said, if they show you who they are, believe them. Period. And of course, this is him now. Not so cool and head and shouldery now, is he? The Massachusetts mom of 3, 39, alleged that on August 2nd, 2014, before the couple married, Walsh made a threat over the phone that he was going to do these unthinkable things to hit her and her friends. The report to Washington, D.C.'s Metro Police does not specifically name Walsh. It identifies a person who made the chilling move as S1 and adds that he now lives in Boston in a clear reference to him. Anna made the report to Timothy Jefferson in her previous name of Nip at 6 p.m. She gave her address as the address, as her current address at that time, but then refused to cooperate in the prosecution. Again, this very interesting when you have somebody out here spitting out all this fire and venom, and I get it. Let's keep it real. People say a lot of crazy stuff. People in relationships, emotions can run high and all that. But you don't say stuff like this, y'all. You don't. You don't say this with fire and brimstone boiling in your belly. Okay? You don't say this to your future wife or your future spouse. You just don't do that. I don't care. You just don't. And of course, we don't know the context of the actual conversation, but still, there is no line, there is no rhyme or reason for someone to say that line. And what's interesting is that she still said, she backed off. And I wonder why. More fear, more feelings of being trapped. Did he really trap her that? Did she really feel that trapped that early? It sounds like it was, where she was really that trapped that early. That's so devastating. Okay. So the realtor who works for a DC real estate firm during the week resided there before her marriage to Brian and living in Cohasset, Massachusetts. She was last seen at the house in the early morning hours of January 1st when she supposedly took a car to the Boston's Logan Airport to fly to DC, which we already know she never took that flight. Rideshare services show no pickups at the family home, according to the WCBV. And Anna's cell phone. This is also very important. And I know some of y'all are, talking about Brian Koberger and all that stuff. And it's like, oh, well, the pinging, he could be 20 some odd places. It doesn't mean that he's actually at the crime. But hey, the cell phone was still continuing to ping from there, from the actual home for 2 days after she had allegedly left the house. Does that not scream to you that she was taken or that he did something bad? There was some wrongdoings and there was foul play, guys. Clear, point blank. You can't avoid this issue, y'all. You just can't. I got a super chat. Let me grab this really quick. Nancy Jennings, thank you so much for the 5. I hate seeing DV victims standing up for the individuals that hurt them. Exactly. Makes me so sad and angry. Yes, it angers me so much. And the thing is that there are a lot of men and a lot of women, or let me flip that around. There's a lot of women and a lot of men that feel that they are trapped, that they can't get out. They don't know how to, or even worse, they think they can't do better. Now, you got to remember, you got a young woman at that time falling in love, met this dude. Maybe he was already flexing his wealth, flexing his success. She found a successful, well-to-do guy. She's from Serbia. She's an immigrant. She's trying to find success and trying to live the American dream for herself as well. And she sees this man who is able, at least financially at the time, is able to provide her that actual dream. To pursue that actual dream, the American dream. Whatever was dreaming since she was a little girl in Serbia. Then she meets this guy. She's all happy. She's so on and so forth. She's falling in love with this guy. And then all of a sudden, he starts showing his true self. He starts showing those true colors. It's bad. But now she's like, damn, I'm invested. I'm invested in this relationship. I'm in this relationship. What am I going to do? To me, it feels like she felt trapped and maybe terrified that he would do what he said he would do in that threat. So she didn't continue to participate or to cooperate with 5-0. And Hoblone, yes, obviously his income was a fraud, but he could easily keep acting like he's, that he's just rich as hell, that he's just drowning her with gifts and all that stuff. It's all about, you're not showing. It's all about what the eye sees, right? She doesn't have to see the sleight of hand. She doesn't need to know how the sausage is made as long as it shows up on that dinner table. You feel me? And so I'm sure he puts on a full-on full on facade, full on performance, conning her, not only just the people that were around his life as well, because there's other stories as well, which I will talk about on another show for sure. But he conned so many people, his loved ones, his friends, family. The only reason why he got caught right now is because they were fake Andy Warhol paintings, y'all. But she had some warning signs, I guarantee you. I guarantee you this. I guarantee you this. Avery, thank you so much for the 5. I have to know, does anyone think of Brittany Murphy and her? Oh, wow. You know, that's funny when you bring that up, when you look at the pictures of Brian and Anna. You know what? That's a very good call. That's hilarious. It's kind of creepy, actually, too, if you really think about it. Because that's another interesting story that I know that people still have their speculations and their theories revolving around that as well. But again, you see something like this. She had already called 5-0 before. He had the audacity to scream out, I'm going to do such and such to you and your friends. Again, that would have been ample time for her to leave. But she must have felt terrified, too scared to move, too scared to do anything, or maybe she thought she couldn't do any better. And that's sad. And that's why I keep doing these kinds of conversations and these kinds of shows, because there needs to be more of these kind of conversations and these reminders of, ladies and gentlemen, if you're in that kind of situation, one, you deserve better. Period. You deserve better. Oh my God, you deserve better. Wow. Don't stay. Kick rocks quickly. Call a friend, call family, whatever it is, whatever you need to do. Do whatever it is that you need to do, but do it quickly. And do it in a nonviolent way, in the most nonviolent way you can, okay? Leave like an adult. Leave as a lady. Leave as a gentleman, period. All right? But leave, and leave quickly, because honestly, a lot of the threats that you may be feeling, or the moments of feeling threatened, a lot of those times are fake. Sometimes they can be real, okay? But that's the reason why you get up and you get out now and find yourself with people that will protect you. Put up a whole wall, a whole front, a whole front to guard you, to make sure you are not in harm's way ever again. You can figure out the whole custody battle thing later. Trust me, if you got kids involved, or even dogs, pets, whatever, it's all good. Get them, get out. You'll take care of all that stuff through legals. Period. But when I hear stories like this, I was looking at this earlier, and I said, you know what? I need to talk about this with everybody. Doesn't matter what time I get on. I am going to talk about this, because this is full on, straight up, the typical staple story of a woman who is a victim of DV. And now this woman has lost her life because of DV. I guarantee you something happened in that conversation after they were cleaning up, washing the dishes, putting the wine glasses away in the fine china. Something happened where she said something that he did not like, and he snapped. And maybe he snapped like he usually does, but it went too far, too far, and something tragic happened, and she lost her life. Now she is still missing. There is blood in the basement. There's a broken knife that was found in the basement. There's a trash bag filled with hatchets and hacksaws, and a rug covered in red as well. All because violence was introduced into this relationship way early on. This is the reason why I say when they show you who they are, believe them. And as soon as they start saying crazy stuff like this, leave. Not the but he has so much money. But I'm scared. Most importantly, if you say, but I'm scared, that gives you even more incentive to walk out that front door. Period. Again, a young woman gone. And you know for a fact what the inevitable is, guys. We already know what the inevitable is. This is not, well, maybe she'll just show up, hop off a plane or a train or an automobile and just be like, hey, guys, I just went on I just needed some me time. No, that's not the case. Trust me, as soon as that DNA comes back from the rug, the hacksaw, the hatchet, the hazmat suits, the rags covered in red, the knife, the red that was in the basement, all that stuff comes back with her DNA on it, which it will. This guy's in a heap of trouble, and may he rot in jail. Jamie Vasquez, thank you so much for the 10. I appreciate it. Thank you for addressing this matter, Pascal. It doesn't get better. Get out. Absolutely. Get out. Get out. And yeah, Ray, it is game over for this dude. It's already game over. Trust me, baby. Even if they don't, we already know the red is it's hers. The DNA that they're going to find on all that stuff is going to be hers. He's sloppy. This was a crime of passion. This was not a planned situation. No one's seen her anywhere else. You're telling me she just vanished? Really now? Watch it be that. But again, we need to start taking care of ourselves, y'all. It's just sad that a lot of us instantly think or believe in our heart of hearts that we don't deserve better. Like, he almost is perfect, but, and that's the thing though, we're not going to find our perfect mate. Like, we're not going to find, our mates are not going to be perfect, okay? They're not going to check off every single box, okay? They're not. But you cannot sit here and just settle or readjust things that just so that you can have whatever it is that you want to achieve. Okay? Get out. There are better people out there. There are better people out here. Okay? Let me show you guys this video.
And for some perspective on this investigation, back with us now, Tracy Walder, former CIA.
Let me know if you guys hit this, hit the number 1. Let me know you guys can hear this as well. Okay? I'd appreciate it. But hit the number 1. Let me know that you guys can hear this. Let's rock and roll.
And for some perspective on this investigation, back with us now, Tracy Walder, former CIA officer and FBI special agent. Tracy, thank you so much for still being here.
Thank you for having me again, Natasha.
As this missing persons case evolves, is it looking more and more to you like there was a history of unreported domestic violence here?
To me, yes. I think, this revelation of the call that she had made regarding the violent threat that her then boyfriend had made to her and her friend is really kind of what turns the corner of this to me. He obviously had been convicted of fraud and there were some money issues, but we didn't know much about his violent history, which he apparently now does have. But unfortunately, it looks like, she perhaps had been the victim of domestic violence perhaps more than one time, and just didn't go through with those police reports.
And one of their former tenants shares that in the past few months, Anna had been liquidating some of her property holdings. As an investigator, does this raise any red flags for you, that perhaps this is a person starting to make plans, or could this just have been to help fund her husband's fraud case? We know that there were money issues going on in the background.
One thing I will say is, yeah, one of the main pending questions is she was definitely trying to sell things. She was trying to get rid of things. Clearly, there was something else going on. Maybe she was planning on leaving this monster. Maybe that's what happened that triggered him. Maybe on New Year's Eve, and I said this before in a past show, but I'll say it now. Maybe during that time, they're putting away dishes. They're washing the putting away the fine china, putting away the wine glasses and the champagne flutes, and saying, "Oh, that was a successful dinner." And they're both a little buzzed. And she says, "Listen, we need to talk. I need to be free. I cannot do this anymore. This fraud and all this X, Y, and Z, and how I'm covering your ass and trying to take care of this and pay off things that you made this hole that we're in. You're the one who did this, and I'm still covering for your butt. I can't do this anymore. I need to be out of this relationship." Boom. That could trigger that dude hard, especially with a person who has had a history of violence already. Clearly, to me, it seems like not only was she maybe trying to save his butt, but maybe she was trying to save some money for herself so she can get out as quickly as possible. It's embarrassing. Let's be real. It's embarrassing when you have your spouse on lockdown, house arrest for crayons, okay? For drawings, for fake drawings, guys. This wasn't like he was, working with the mafia and pushing hella weight of cocaine. He was selling fake crayon drawings. Come on. All right? He didn't even do it all thuggish ruggish. He was selling fake paintings. And then now, the whole town, the whole neighborhood that she lives in all knows that this dude is on house arrest and can't do X, Y, and Z. That's embarrassing as hell, especially when you have somebody like her who's got a substantial job. She's flying back and forth from DC, so she got big pants. She wearing those big pants, you feel me? And now her husband's on lockdown because of some paintings, babies. That's embarrassing. And this person is allegedly hurting her as well. Maybe the power went bye-bye. That feeling of him having the power over her started to dissipate. And her respect for him maybe started to evaporate as well. And then suddenly now, maybe she was getting her mojo back. Maybe not. Now Threads and Roses says she's supporting his criminal ace. She's supporting his criminal ace. Okay. Now that could very well be it too. But there's got to be some sort of breaking point. There had to have been. Or maybe she was that submissive. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe she was just that submissive. But at the same time, it just doesn't make any sense. If this was some girl that was that ride or die, real talk, ride or die. If she was really like that, then why would he allegedly take her life from this planet? That doesn't make sense. And then desperately messingly, I guess, try to cover his own butt. If she was really that ride or die, then why would he do that? You see what I'm saying? I think she wanted out and he snapped, and therefore all hell broke loose. But let's continue. But like I said, guys, get out while you can. Get out as soon as you can. They start to show their hand, walk.
Yeah, so I've kind of arrived at both of those conclusions, quite frankly. Look, I find it unusual that in the past 6 months, she really had been liquidating a lot of them. It looks to me like that was a primary source of income. I surmise that she was probably the breadwinner of the family. And it looks like a lot of those assets, the rent that they received from those was really a main source of their income. So it was very interesting to me to see that those had been liquidated really within the past 6 months, thus leaving perhaps a large sum of cash. So it makes me wonder two things. One, did the family need these assets, or was she planning, perhaps to leave, or was she planning to file for divorce? It's hard to know for sure, but I do find that to be an interesting development.
I will say this. I do believe that maybe she was doing both things. She was trying to liquidate some certain things that she and her husband had at the time, maybe taking some of that money for the family and putting some of that money on the side for herself so that she could actually leave. That's what I truly believe. Sure, she was helping him. She was trying to support him and all that stuff because I'm sure he held it down for her too, even though he was a swindling con artist. But still, I think he was doing whatever he could so that he could, or I think she was doing whatever she could to not get him upset, to not start any drama, and keep violence at bay, right? Now, one thing I will say that I wanted to point out too, sometimes babies can also trap people from staying in a relationship as well. I don't know anything about their relationship. That we haven't heard anything about that, like the inner doings of their relationship. But they had 3 kids pretty back to back. It's like 2, 4, and 6, if I'm correct. All 3 boys, right? It's a lot of kids to have in a short amount of time, right? Now, I know that there are ways of people will trap somebody by having more children with them as well, to the point where you have a woman who wants to leave, but now she has a second child. Or she wants to leave, but now she's about to have a third child. And she goes, damn, I have to stay. I can't do this now. These kids need to grow up with a solid foundation of the good old fashioned nuclear family, right? The mom, dad, and 2.5 kids, right? And the white picket fence, right? A lot of people sit there and go, okay, I'll stay until the kids graduate high school. Literally, people will sit there and do that, which is beyond me. Okay? Because I don't know how anybody can sit there and just fester hating a person or not enjoying the presence of their spouse for 18 years. That's a long time. Okay? But there's a lot of people that do that. And that's really, really sad. But it is very real where you see men and women in relationships try to trap their spouse by having babies. Or they think by the time we have a baby, this is going to make us solid. It's going to help us. It's going to make us a stronger couple because we have a child now. That's a real thing. And people do that too. I'm not sitting here saying everybody does that. Okay? But people do that. So like I said, we don't know the full ongoings within this full relationship. But from what we hear and what we're hearing right now, that's just a small snippet. That's a window in one of their worst situations ever. But at the same time, it shows what kind of temper that this guy has. And I'm sure when that happened in 2014, was that 7-8 years ago? I mean, trust me, okay? Trust me on this. He has not changed, okay? Clearly he is not. But you know for a fact there has been DV within this relationship. He has verbally has threatened her life. He has verbally threatened her friend's life. So clearly he has no remorse or care for even his children, or for even his wife's friends. So that's the kind of power he feels that he has over her, that he could literally take her like that. Again, guys, I said it before, but I'll say it again. If someone shows you who they are, or when they show you who they are, believe them. And the other thing is, too, this is a situation that I feel that a lot of women and a lot of men find themselves in. And it's always in the very beginning. It's that little seed, that little inkling of a heads up of what could happen. This person doesn't know how to control their temper. Wow, they put their hands on me. And it may be small. But again, once you start getting that kind of stuff implemented and introduced, that language is being introduced into the relationship, it only evolves. And it evolves into something very bad. And a lot of times we see it turn into something where someone loses their life. It could be as extreme and as bad as that. There should be zero tolerance within relationships, guys. Zero. And if there is that being implemented or being introduced into your relationship, you have to leave. Zero tolerance, guys. Zero. And yes, Tyler, exactly. Obviously, this is a very manipulative type of relationship, at least from what we're understanding, from what we're getting so far. Okay. But yes, don't stay with people who manipulate you. Absolutely. You all deserve better. We all deserve better. And if you are in that dope ass relationship, then hey, man, I applaud you. Keep staying on that righteous path of self-respect and respect for your spouse. But as soon as it starts going off like that, you walk out that door. You have friends that will open up their doors for you and embrace you and hold you and keep you safe with ease. So one thing I do want to say, though, really quick, because, I wanted to say this earlier, but we started talking about this and I wanted to get this in. But tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, I will be back on live to talk with you guys. We will be having attorney Andrea Burkhart back on the show. So I'm very excited because we're going to be talking more about the Brian Kohberger conversation, the questions that I talked about this morning. I'm going to be bringing those questions up again tomorrow morning as well. She's going to break it down for us and tell us everything and what she thinks about as well about the case. And of course, she said the gag order, she got 1,000,001 problems with it. So we are going to be talking about that, obviously, in great detail. And at the end of that show, I will be announcing the winner of the $100 Swagit giveaway. Okay? So you have to tune in tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. That's when I'm going to announce the winner. Okay? So if you don't show up and you don't know, then you don't make the monies. Okay? So I just wanted to let you guys know that as well before we start to wrap up the show. Okay? But again, guys, we've talked about self-esteem, self-love, all that stuff for a while now. I mean, on this channel, we talk about it a lot. But the thing is that there's a lot of people out here that, like Anna, you look at her and you say, oh, she's got it all. She's got it all together, so on and so forth. But we never really knew. No one really knew what was going on behind closed doors. They hid that very, very well for the most part. They hid that stuff. And maybe all of that was because of fear of this man. And look what happened now. And that's the sad part. Because now you got 3 kids, 3 young boys that don't have a mother and will not have a father. That father will be behind bars for the rest of his natural life. And that's what's so sad about it, guys. Again, we have to have zero tolerance on DV. 0. Period, point blank. As soon as something happens, talk about it. If you know somebody that's in a situation like this and they've told you about this, they've confided in you, it has been confirmed without a shadow of a doubt. It's not theory. It's not conspiracy. Nothing like that. Talk about it. Save that person's life. Get them out as quickly as possible. Anyway, guys, it is time to get going. I told you guys it would be a short one, okay? But I wanted to give you guys some of that, some news on this particular story. But I do appreciate all y'all for being here, okay? I do appreciate all you guys for being here. Have a great rest of your Saturday night. Make it wonderful. Make it positive. Do all that stuff that you need to do to feel good, all right? And especially with all this bad juju of talking about this, hey, go do something fun. Be around your friends. Go hug your dog. Go wrestle your dog or something for fun. You know what I mean? Just go and do something. Or your cat. Well, cats aren't very they're not very friendly. I wouldn't say mess around with your cat, but you know what I'm saying, okay? Go have fun. Enjoy your Saturday. I'll be back tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time with the one and only Andrea Burkhart. So tune in, and I'll be making the announcement on who wins that Swag-It money. Okay? So if you haven't done it yet, go and download Swag-It on my previous video. There's a link in the description box and at the top, pinned to the top of the comments down below the video. Go and download Swag-It app so you get a chance to win some monies. Okay, guys? But anyway, I love all you guys. Have a wonderful, blessed night. And I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. I'll see you guys soon. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.